If you could pinpoint one thing in your life, one fear in your life that holds you back, what would that be?
Ooh, bro. How are you gonna put that question on me and like expect me to answer that right away? That's hard.
Like, what are you deep down afraid of? Like, what keeps you up at night sometimes?
Like real shit?
Yeah. So, Gabriel, the founder of KuboTea,
Yes.
what inspired you to start Kubo? What inspired you to start a bubble tea business?
Well, I always like bubble tea, just how many people do. And during the pandemic, we couldn't get bubble tea, so I would try to make bubble tea at home, and then I experimented here and there, trying to find a good ratio of how to make a perfect milk tea, because I think that the basis of most bubble tea shops should be based on their milk tea, since that's the classic flavor. So I
Okay.
played around with that, and I ended up making a pretty good batch myself. And when I started going back to bubble tea shops when the pandemic was over, it just wasn't hitting the same way. So I just started making it myself again and again. And then I was like, maybe I should try like selling bubble tea.
So it started during the pandemic, you were just experimenting at home because you couldn't go out and buy it?
Yeah, exactly. And from then on, like I first started with family, obviously, and I would just give it to them for free. And then, like people started seeing it on social media, like friends and family. Mm-hmm. So then I decided to like sell it, like how like lots of people would out of their house, like selling baked goods. But instead, like I would make bubble tea, and people started liking it, and I started experimenting with new and unique flavors, and some of them popped off. Some of them were still good, but I don't have them anymore. Some of them stayed behind, and it just went on from there.
What was the difference between your boba tea and, for example, like, I don't know, what places did you go to a lot to buy your boba?
Well, like my favorite place to go, I don't know if I should mention this because I guess I'm kind of bashing their name, but like maybe we could blur it out. But I used to love them. I used to love. Yeah, I still like them too. But then I just found that like, especially their milk teas, they're just not strong. Like it doesn't taste like the tea. It just tasted like the milk part. So then I would try and play around with like different like teas and like different ratios of tea to milk, or like what type of milk to use. Because I know it uses like a powdered milk now. It's like actually like a non-dairy powdered milk.
Okay.
I didn't really want that because I didn't feel like it. I felt like it didn't taste as good to me. So then, based off all of my my main recipe off of like milk teas, because I think if you have a good milk tea, it says something about your drinks.
Why did you want to start a business rather than just like do it as a hobby? Because you said you were just experimenting here and there for fun, and then you were like, maybe I should just start selling.
Honestly, a part of it was just spontaneous, just for fun as well. But then a part of me also feels like I have that entrepreneurial spirit. And so then I just sold it out of the house during the pandemic, and like they would just come by, e-transfer, I'd drop it off, and they'd pick it up off the front porch. I was like, oh, maybe I should try taking this to the next level and like actually try and scale it up into a business by doing pop-up events. And we did our first one. It was a night market in Hamilton. And it was like a pretty expensive one too. So there's a lot of learning curves with that one.
Very expensive.
Yeah, it was an expensive one. It was a lot of learning curves, a lot of expectations, and a lot of expectations not met. But like at the end of the day, I saw it as a learning experience, and I didn't give up from there. Like I took a loss that first event, but then I just decided to keep going with it.
So obviously your parents know that you're starting this and you want this to grow and eventually become your baby, right?
Yeah.
So when your parents retire, what are they going to do with the dentistry? Do they want to, because I'm like, obviously you said before they want to obviously give it to you or give it to your older brother to like keep it continue, right?
Honestly, they still have that like sentiment.
Idea?
Like they still would, like if I told my mom, it's probably too late now because like my mom would have to wait like another like 4 years. But like if I told my mom like
for schooling?
Yeah, for schooling. If I told my mom like, oh, I want to become a dentist again, she probably would be like, okay, like I'll keep it going for you. But like I think she's like getting to that point where like she just wants to settle down, like take less hours back. I don't think she wants to retire yet, but like just work less days.
Why'd you not like dentistry, or why didn't you want to do dentistry?
I just wasn't a good student. So it's like literally comes down to school. Like,
so if you're good at school,
honestly, I wasn't a good student. I didn't like doing homework.
That's a crazy answer.
I'm just being honest. Like I wasn't a good student. I still tried.
So literally, you didn't
Yeah.
just because you didn't do well in school.
Well, it's not that I didn't do well in school.
You didn't want to try.
I didn't want to go through 8 years of school to not try. Like, what's the point of What's the point of going to school if you're not going to try in something that you don't really care too much about?
So obviously, I'm pretty sure you worked with your parents at the dentistry, right?
I have, yeah, and that's
so
where a lot of.
So how do you like it? Like, did you like it or you didn't like it?
Well, like a lot of it was hands on, so I didn't mind that. Like I like the hands on work.
What were you doing at the dentistry though?
Like I did a lot of stuff there. Like I went from like doing all of their dirty work, like back room, like cleaning up stuff. Like literally setting up the computers, filing papers, admin stuff, cleaning like dental instruments, all that.
Everything besides actually cleaning the teeth, in a sense.
Yeah, like anything that didn't have to do with like people's like dentistry.
Yeah.
Like I basically went through everything.
Kubo aside, we both did figure skating growing up, competitive figure skating. How did that affect your mindset growing up? Do you think it played a role in wanting to start, or that entrepreneurial spirit, because you grew up as an athlete?
No, honestly, I don't think it had to do anything with my entrepreneurial spirit, but if anything, it did have to do with how it affected me in school. Because you know how we figure skated, right? So like we would wake up early in the morning. So that by the time I get to school, I'd be tired. And since I felt like I already did a lot of work in the morning, I felt like I just wanted to relax during school.
Did you sleep in school?
No, I didn't sleep in school, but like I would like.
Oh, you're better than me then.
I never slept in school. Like I never got tired. I got tired after school, but like when in school, like since I felt like I did like hard work, and like I focused in figure skating, I always felt like in school I could just not focus as much. Like especially since you're with like surrounded by friends, like I could just like relax. And like in elementary school and like maybe grade 9 and 10, it was okay because it's like the classes were easy. Like I was like smart enough to like get through everything without having to study. But then when it came to grade 11 and 12, where you actually have to do homework, especially after school, I didn't do that because after school I would be back to skating again or like doing workouts. And then by the time I'm doing those like done doing those workouts or done skating again, I'd be too tired to do anything. Like I would literally come home after whatever it is, like whether it be skating, workouts, or school, I'd literally just go onto the couch, put on a TV show, and then fall asleep. So I think in that sense, like figure skating made me a bad student, but it did still teach me good work ethic. Like especially for figure skating because it's a very detail oriented sport, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that really affected me as like a person because when it comes to like stuff that I really care about, I'm really particular or like detail oriented about it. So that's how it affected me in that sense.
That makes sense.
But how did it affect you? Did you not get tired? You were tired after skating. You're tired going into skating in the morning.
Oh, brother, you know me. I'm always tired.
So did it not affect you as a student then?
Oh, it definitely did. It definitely did. Okay, so me in school, academic wise, I wasn't the smartest, but I was like I could pass like with 70s and stuff like that without studying, just because my memory was like.
You know how to
decent
finesse the system.
In a sense. Yeah. Okay, I actually paid attention in class whenever I wanted to, except for math class. I hated math. But yeah, I usually never studied. Skating, go to school, sleep during first period, and then whatever math class, whenever that is, I would sleep during that, and then just go home and just do whatever. Okay, you ready for some deep shit?
All right, let's get into it.
All right. Growing up, in an Asian household, obviously I'm Chinese, you're Filipino,
Yeah.
right? So there's obviously some discrepancy. Did you feel like you had to earn love growing up? Because, so before you answer, because
Okay.
a lot of Asian like stereotypes or the typical view is like, if you're not successful, you don't have a lot of money. If you don't have a business, good grades, whatever, you're not deemed as successful. Or your parents are like, in a sense, they don't praise you or acknowledge you. So did you feel like you had to make
yeah.
it?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I didn't feel like I need to like be successful to earn love. Like I knew that they loved me either way, and they would still show like signs of affection that showed me that they love me. But it definitely like I definitely grew up in the sense where like I felt like I needed to achieve something to get like I guess like that praise, or like I feel like I always needed to achieve something to like try and bring to them. You know what I mean? Like I had to come with them with an
You have
with an
to show
achievement.
them something.
Yeah.
Do you think, because you're the youngest, I'm the oldest in my between my siblings. In your view, did you think your older brother had it harder, or were your parents way more strict on him?
Oh, for sure. He definitely had it harder. You could if you ask him, like he'll say without a doubt that he had it harder. And like honestly, it kind of I feel like it's like that's part of the reason why he's not as close with family. Like he's close now, but like growing up, especially I could see it like as the older sibling, you don't like, since you always get the blame right away, or like they're the ones who are hard on you first, like it gets you mad, right? So then it makes you like not want to hang out with family. So then I could see that like he wouldn't want to be like with family. Like he'd just choose to go out with friends
Yeah,
than to be at home.
that's a lot with me. Yeah.
So then like as the younger like sibling, like I felt like I was obliged, or not even obliged, but like I felt bad that there's only one kid at home to like help out around the house. So I felt like I always had to be the one to make it a little bit like for them to rely on me on.
So here's another question with that. Do you feel like, since your older brother wasn't always there at home and he like kind of like disassociated himself with the family, like in a sense, do you feel like there was more pressure on you then?
Yeah.
To be the one to
Like I had to be the one.
be the kid for your parents.
Yeah, like do
show
the
them
chores.
love.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Like do the chores. Be the one to be reliable. And like it didn't help that my brother was also going to a school in Toronto, so he was also coming home late because he had to commute to and from school. And then once he did come home, like he would just play. He was like a gamer since he was an older child. Like he would get the family PC. So then I never played anything. So then if I didn't play anything, like I would just try and help out around the house. But even still, like I would like it would bother me because like I felt like back then I felt like, I don't know how my brother felt, but like it felt like I'm the one who always had to do stuff. But maybe that wasn't the case for him. Like maybe he saw it a different way.
Yeah.
And so like I felt bad for my parents whenever I didn't do stuff, but then at the same time I didn't want to do stuff because I'm a kid. So like
what's the age gap between you and your brother again?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, I mean.
How about you? Yeah.
5 years.
Well, that's even bigger than mine. How'd that affect you? Like, are you close with your brother? Would you say?
With my brother?
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you say like?
Okay, when we were both kids, yeah, like we're both kids, so we were close. But growing up, when he hits like puberty and stuff like that.
When he hit puberty, you hit puberty.
When he hit puberty and he went into high school, in a sense, he's like totally shuts himself in his room. Like I don't see this guy only until like he comes down to eat, and it's like, whoa, it's like a wild like Pikachu randomly.
Because for me it was the other way around. Like
you saw your brother all the time.
Once my brother hit high school, like I feel like I barely saw him, and like it would kind of suck because I kind of looked up to him, even though he was like really mean to me sometimes. And but like in high school, like I feel like when he was in high school, that was the most I was not close with him.
When he was in high school?
When he was in high school, like grade 11, 12, and then his first year and second year of university maybe, that was when I was not close with him most. That's when we fought a lot. I don't know why we fought a lot, but that's when we fought the most.
Okay.
And then it wasn't until his last couple years in university he started getting closer with family, and like closer with me again.
Interesting. I'm getting a different perspective.
Why? Like because you're the older child.
Because I'm the old one, right? So then growing up as the older one, it's like there's also a lot of pressure on the older one to be like successful, be the one to like carry the head, the name of the family, right? So there's always this
to lead the example, right?
There's always this pressure of like, oh, you gotta do well.
Yeah.
Or you always have to like you said, like bring home something. Like be worthy in a sense. And I guess growing up, my parents were there for me, but they weren't there for me, if that made sense. So literally how I grew up was they put me in all this like extra curriculum, like martial arts, skating, swimming.
Did your parents push like STEM on you a lot? Like, did they put you into like tutoring?
They put me in a lot of different like what are they called? IB schools.
Like AP, IB,
AP tech school and stuff like that. When I was in elementary school, and I would go to like their open house, their tests. I would fail them on purpose because I didn't want to like go there. So I was really rebellious. There you go.
Are you even in high school? I saw like you were rebellious in high school. I could tell.
Yeah, because what you call it? Okay, it all makes sense. Growing up, I was literally outside 24/7.
Yeah.
And I would only be at home just to sleep. So even today, or like even I'm just getting better now. Yeah. But even for like example today, if I'm at home 24/7, like the whole day, it feels so weird. And I remember during COVID time when I was at home for 2 days straight, my grandma's like, "Whoa, Vincent, are you like sick?" She's like, I'm like, "Why?" And I'm just eating breakfast. Like I'm just eating breakfast, like just chilling on the sofa. She's like, "Are you sick?" I'm like, "No, why?" She's like, "You've been home for 2 days straight. Are you okay?"
During COVID? She asked you that?
Yeah, because even during COVID, I would go outside and play ball.
Oh, true.
Like I have to be outside. If I'm not outside, I'm going insane. So I was always outside.
You never like just staying at home or like doing work at home or?
No. No, I'm out.
Because you're about like self growth and everything, right? Like you're never like, let me just like, I don't know, like learn something new inside.
No, I had to be outside.
Oh, that's
interesting. I was always outside.
I had a good mix. Like I would say, like I love being outside as well. Like I was always outside after school. Yeah. In high school, but like I also like appreciated my days in, especially because we skated. Like
now, my schedule is a lot different because I'm at home a lot now. Mm-hmm. But I'm not even lying. If I was at home, like for a full day, because I document, like I schedule, I calendar everything. Literally, every 2.5 months or every like 3 to 4 months, there would be one day out of the whole cycle, the months, that I'm at home the whole day. Either I'm at work, either I'm outside, either I'm playing ball, either I'm...
Only 2 days out of the whole month you'd be at home.
Yeah, it would be a couple of days in that whole like 4 months cycle period that I'm at home, like I didn't go out. Like homebody.
Oh, that's crazy. Actually...
But because I have to always be outside.
Yeah, even now you like bouncing around, right? Yeah, you don't mind driving.
No. Because I need to be outside. Like I was born like... I was born an outdoor kid.
Yeah.
Skating and then school and then playing after school and then martial arts right after and then coming home. Literally my day would look like I leave at 6 a.m. to go skating, and then I would literally come home at like 8 p.m. every single night. I was always outside because I feel like my house was never safe in a sense.
Like in what sense? Like from your parents, or like why wasn't your house safe?
A lot of pressure. So my escape, my coping mechanism is
to just leave.
Absolutely leave.
Did your brother see the same thing?
What do you mean, see what
like,
same thing?
Did he feel that pressure as well? Or is his like coping method...
Well, you're going to have to ask him. But I don't know, but he definitely locks himself in his room.
That's his coping method.
I think so, yeah.
Like, would you say that you're more of an extrovert than he is?
Right now, 100% yeah. But very scarily enough...
You were like him.
My brother is the exact copy of me.
Of you?
Growing up. And it's terrifying. And he kind of like... I mean, we're brothers.
Were you an introvert? You were an introvert back then, right?
Oh, big introvert. It wasn't only until...
Like, what brought you open, though?
It's a good question.
Like, what made you less... Were you an introvert because you just didn't want to talk to people, or were you an introvert because you were shy?
More on the shy side.
So what, like what,
or more on the shy side, or I didn't know how to talk to people or start conversations, so I just never like.
like if you
even
told me
spoke
that
up.
you were shy, I would have never expected that.
Probably now, yeah.
Yeah, like if you told me that now, I would have never, like, I wouldn't believe you.
But you know me since like grade 6.
Yeah, I know, but like if I know you now, like if I just met you now and you told me that you were shy, I would have never expected that.
Oh yeah.
So like what brought you to not be shy anymore?
I think honestly, I really think okay, there's different stages, but right after graduating, in 2022. Yeah, right after graduating 2022. And then I went into business with my mom and I started doing that a lot. And then I was just really like focused, money driven. That I started like push a lot of my friends away. And I like 2022 was a very lonely year for me. Let's just say that it was very lonely. But ever since then, I realized like, yo, friends are cool. You know, having relationships
what's
are
the
cool.
What's the point of making money if you have no friends?
If you just have
Just
no
a
one to
loner.
talk to, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember just sitting down when I'm like 6 months after I graduated, I'm just like, yo, I am not depressed, but I'm like, I'm sad. I have no one to talk to. Like, this is dark.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, and then 2023 is when I made my switch. I'm like, you know what? Because I like to have like goals of the year or words of the year. I was like, 2023's goal or word of the year was meaningful relationship. So 2023 started like, I started like going out more, talking to people, like actually developing like actual, like real, like beyond surface level relationships. And that's when I started opening up more. But what really like the mindset that really made me become like an like extrovert or talk to people more is just like, bro, I don't care if you don't like me or not. I'm gonna be who I am. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, and you don't have to talk to me.
Yeah, because in high school I was so in my head so much. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I get that.
oh, do they like me?
That was the same way. I was like the exact same way in high school, especially since like you see the same people over and over again, and then you start to like groups form, right?
Yeah. And then you don't break out of that group, right?
And then like people like care in high school, whereas in like when you go, I don't know if you felt the same way in university, but when I went to university, people don't care about you, which helped me like feel more comfortable. So like if I wanted to just dress in like people, if the people wanted to dress in, I never did it, but like if people just wanted to dress in their PJs or whatever, or like since there's so many niche clubs in university, like there's so many like unique people in university. Yeah. So like no one really cared about you specifically, which made you feel more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah. And then once I realized that, I was just like, yo, I don't have to dress a certain way. I don't have to talk a certain way.
Right.
Like I don't honestly like, cause like I said, when growing up, I was always outside. My parents were almost they weren't really there for me, or because my mom would always be outside like working,
right?
And I wouldn't see her like literally I wouldn't see her. I would only see her 3 times a week.
Wow.
And I would only see my grandparents every time I come back from elementary school. And my dad would come home evening time, like typical 9 to 5. But he just like, after work, he's like zombie mode. He didn't want to talk, didn't want to do anything. I remember my dad, yeah. So I remember going home one time. I'm like, Dad, can you help me with homework? You're like, no. And I was like, oh, cool.
Nah, so literally, at least he like. I'd rather that, because whenever you ask my dad, when I ask my dad to help me out with homework, he'd help me. But then if I don't get the answer, like you know those memes, just be like, "What's 2 plus 2?" And
that'd be my mom.
2 plus 2?
That'd be my mom.
I hated that. That's why I would never. You ever feel like you can't ask your parents questions? Sorry, we're just going over. You know what I mean, though.
I do what you mean.
You do what you mean. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Your mom was like that.
My mom was like that because she wouldn't see me, right? So she wanted to interact with me. And then
you'd ask her your math questions.
I'd ask her to help me, like actual help me, because I hate asking for help too. Because I grew up very like independent and stuff like that. Because like I said, like my home wasn't my home. It was just there to sleep. I didn't really have a home.
That's a crazy concept.
Outside was more safe than inside to me. That's why I was outside. Home was literally just I go home to sleep and then I leave right away.
Do you think that negatively impacted you in any way?
Negatively impacted me?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Like, because most people would see home as their safe space.
Okay.
But like for you, that's not the case.
No, I don't think home is a location to me.
Wow.
Home is definitely not a location.
And you're okay with that home is not a safe space for you, or not?
I don't think it's you're okay with it. It's just that's what I always grew up with the thought of. So that's literally.
Do
home.
you wish it was though?
It's hard to say because I don't even know
what that's like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually crazy. Like I couldn't think about that. Like I can't think.
That's why I'm always outside. That's why I'm always need to do something outside because I feel safer outside than rather inside. It's changed a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
Because now I like growing up. Like I got way more closer with my parents, my grandparents, brothers, whatever. brothers, whatever.
Do you wish you were closer with your brother sometimes?
Do I wish? Yeah, sometimes. But I really like to be alone though. As much as I like to be outside, I really like my alone time.
Like alone as in like literally just by yourself, or like alone as in like you do your own thing?
I do my own thing.
Okay.
I do my own thing, yeah.
By the way, this video is sponsored by KuboTea. Our first pop-up is going to be June 14, 15, 16 in Hamilton Gage Park. Taste of Philippines. Thank you to our sponsors.
What was your relationship like with failure growing up? Or how did your parents teach you about failing?
Honestly, I feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like you're not really taught, especially as in an Asian family, you're not really taught failure. You're taught to not fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like it was kind of hard to face.
Like being bad?
Failure losing? Sometimes. It was always hard for me to like come to my parents to say like I messed up, or like I didn't do something well, or like I didn't do well on a test.
Did you feel like it was hard to ask your parents for help? Because I definitely feel that.
Yes and no. Like I could ask them for help, but it would never be the help that like I really needed. Like I don't really know how to explain it.
Would you, for example, okay, if you really needed help, would your parents be the first person or the last person you ask? Because definitely for me, it would be like
the last
resort. Like I would probably like beg a stranger for money rather than my parents.
Honestly, my parents would be up there, and I feel like a lot of my friends could see my parents as like someone to ask as well. Like I know like my best friend Nicola, he would like. I feel like he would be comfortable asking my parents like for advice versus like his own parents. So I feel like I could personally also just ask them questions. They wouldn't be the first person, but like I wouldn't feel uncomfortable asking them questions.
Okay. So going back to the question, how did your parents teach you about failure?
Honestly, I don't know.
Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. 'Cause I can't really think about that. Like I don't remember like learning anything about failure.
And yeah, because they don't say it, right?
Yeah.
But subconsciously you learn. For example, in my case, like because I never saw my parents as often, because I didn't really have like a role model to look up to.
Yeah.
Or I didn't really have like set standards growing up. Well, there were standards, but there was like no role model to emulate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my parents would be like, "Oh, do well in school, do this, do that. Oh, go to university. Why are you going to college?" Mm-hmm. And then I'm really like looking at them like, so like, what's the word? What's the word when you say something but you are but hypocrite. There you go.
Hypocrite.
I'm like so hypocritical. But anyways, but it's just like whenever I would do things, because I hate being told what to do. Like I said before, I hate being told what to do because I grew up spoiled in the sense that I had a home, I had food.
Yeah.
But I grew up deprived of like family communication and love in a sense. Mm-hmm. Where it's like people are there for you, but you can't really like talk to them. You don't really like communicate with them, et cetera, et cetera. So in terms of like showing up for other people, it's hard because I can't even put myself in their shoes because I only know about myself. So even, for example, if I'm going, for example, we relate back to figure skating. Mm-hmm. If I win, I feel ecstatic. If I lose, I'm like, damn, I lost. And then my parents would be like, oh, why didn't you do better, blah, 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 right? Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I don't really care about your opinion, as sad as that is. Because I'm like, number one, I'm the one who's doing it. Number one, it's my feedback. Number one, I'm the one in position to feel how I want to feel, right? So the way I took failure was very to heart, but I never try to live up to anyone else's standards but my own, if that made sense. So that's why I don't really try to ask other people for help, because in a sense, I don't expect anything from them or any outsiders' help.
Yeah.
I can only expect myself to show up for myself,
Yeah.
if that made sense.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
So there was like, because my parents are very yin and yang. My dad's very relaxed
they're
and chill
very
back.
different.
Like my mom is like the super strict one. So I always had like both sides to see from. But yeah, we weren't taught about failure. It was just more subconscious, like, oh, why didn't you do this? I'm like, because I didn't know I had to do it. Or I didn't know I had to do it a certain way or a certain level to a degree. I'm like, why are you bothering me about this now? Right?
Yeah.
It's like a stranger coming up to you and saying why didn't you do it like this? And I'm like, why are you telling me this when I don't even like really know you? Or like there was no expectations to be set.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Like, you know, you didn't, like, your parents didn't know what the end result would be to begin with. So like, why are you putting the input now? Sort of.
No, it's more like why do you care so much about my end result when you weren't even involved, in a sense?
Oh, okay. Because they weren't involved, like, with what, like for example, for figure skating, they weren't involved, like, with like when you would train, right?
Like they weren't involved with my practices. They weren't involved with things. Obviously, they drove me and everything, but like.
So then, when it came to competition, they'd watch you, and you didn't get the results that you were hoping for. They'd be like, "Why didn't blah blah blah?"
Yeah.
So you,
in a sense,
it's kind of like, how do you know I didn't already do that? Like, you weren't even there to begin with.
In a sense, yeah. There you go.
Okay.
You summed it up well.
Yeah, I get that. My parents were not really like that. They were similar to that, but my parents, for me, it's like, it's not like, why didn't you do this? It's more like, you should have done this, or you should have done more of this, or you, like, for example, for figure skating, oh, you didn't do well in your results. You should have done more off ice. You should have been stretching more. You should have been doing more. You should have practiced more with the music or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, in that sense, it's always like whenever you fail something, it's always like you have to, or like whenever you come to them with a failure, it's never like they'll never be like, it's okay at first, or like, it's blah 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 blah, like I understand how you feel. It's always, you should have done this then. You should have blah 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 blah. And I feel like that transferred onto me. Whereas in, like, if someone came to me like saying that they're upset or like blah blah blah, and I was like, it's like, I would probably say like, it's okay, blah blah blah, and then I would say, why don't you do something, or you should try this, or blah blah blah, and I'm saying blah 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 a lot. But yeah, I feel like that's affected me in that sense, and I don't feel like that's always the best way to encourage someone. Like,
would you say you're a strict well, obviously you're teaching skating now. Do you think you're a strict coach?
No, I don't think I'm a strict coach. Like, compared to our coaches, I don't think I'm a strict coach. I think I could get strict, and like, I have my standards, but like, I'm definitely not as strict, and I don't get like angry right away.
Okay, question for you then. This is like a internal deep question now. Do you feel like, okay, so if I had to choose, if you're a strict person or you're more of a lax person, which one are you?
More of a relaxed person.
More of a lax person? Would you say you're more of a relaxed coach or person because you don't have, I'm not trying to sound rude in a sense, but I'm just like, the general question, like, do you feel like you're more of a lax person because you don't have that much standard set for yourself or expectations?
No, I just don't think I have it in me to yell at a kid sometimes. Like, even when sometimes I do get really mad, but I'll never be like top of my voice yelling.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Oh. Yeah, I could never bring myself to that. Like, I'll get mad and I'll like be very serious toned, but I'll never be like Like I've never had that point in skating and as a coach where like I'm like steaming mad, like super mad at someone, like at a student.
Since I have so much high expectations for myself, I expect that for others, and that's why I get mad easily, or I get disappointed easily, because I'm like, bro, why didn't you do this, or why weren't you like a man of your word? Growing up, did you ever feel like you weren't enough?
Honestly, that's a good question. Like I never thought of it like deeply like that, to the point where like, am I enough? Like I never like vocalized in my head or like thought in my own head, am I enough? But if I'm looking back at it, I definitely had that sentiment. Like, am I doing enough? Am I like helping out enough? Am I working hard enough? And then sometimes you'd think like, no, I'm not. And then it's like, why am I not?
Yeah.
But then you just choose not to anyways, and then it just makes you feel even worse about it. And then you get like regrets later on.
Yeah. Because for
like
me,
from your parents specifically, or just in general?
Oh, I think everything stems from your parents.
Yeah.
Right? And how you were taught, how you were raised, and they kind of portray like this sense of standard or who you ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why I asked you the first question, like, do you think you had to earn love growing up?
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, like your parents are the ones who you look up to. Like they're the ones who are literally your lifeline.
Yeah.
Right? Displease them or make them mad, you could die quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's why I asked that first question. But in terms of like, because I think a lot of Asian people just like relate to this in general, because Asian parents, especially like immigrants, like they moved here to give you like a better life, and they expect like a lot because they're sacrificing a lot for you.
Yeah.
There's always this like pressure to, like I said, do well, do good, make them proud, be more successful than them.
Yeah.
But at least for me, it's still a learning journey of like, am I enough, or am I worthy, or am I, what's the word? Am I happy with myself in a sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you always want to try to live up, or you're trying to, what's the word? Please other people, please your parents, please your family, be more successful, et cetera, that you sometimes neglect your own mental health, your own well-being, your own happiness, right? So it's just like,
You think about others feeling so much and like how you treat other people, or like what you could do for other people. You forget about how that would make yourself feel, right?
yeah.
So then it's like you're always there to try and please other people, but then like at the end of the day, like, does that really make you happy at the
end of the day?
At the end of the day? I just said that. At the end of the day is done.
As we're saying, that's kind of crazy. I was never a people pleaser, but I did care a lot about people.
I was a big people pleaser, and that really affected me.
I stopped caring about others' opinions, like I said, like once I graduated, because I'm like, yo, I have to live my life. Like, I can't be confined in whatever box or opinions I set myself or other people set upon me, because that's just like, at least that's not how I want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But yeah, growing up, definitely, it's been a lot better. But even sometimes now, I just still feel like, am I enough? Because there's always things you could be doing. And there's always like, obviously, sometimes you get lazy. Sometimes it's like you don't want to do things. Sometimes you like rather be comfortable and stay chill. But yeah.
Did your parents ever say like mental health, it doesn't exist?
Did my parents ever?
Like, I remember my parents would say like, why are people so anxious? Or like, why do people have anxiety? And I'm like, yo, that's a crazy thing to say.
Honestly, I literally.
At one point didn't believe in anxiety either?
Bro, I literally didn't think anxiety was real.
Until you experienced it?
Until I experienced it, I think, when was it? Literally 2020.
Oh.
Literally 2020 when I...
Bro, being shy, like, that's literally a form of anxiety.
Okay, but like, I like straight up had like a panic attack, and I'm like, damn, this is real. Yeah. I'm like, mental health is serious. From that day, 2020, March, April, around there. From that day...
Where was it?
So I was meeting up with someone I've never met with before, and this was like the first time, and I had to bus and go somewhere. Yeah,
Oh shit.
And then I was like, before I left, I was like, it's getting hard to breathe. And I'm like, why am I coughing so much? Why is like my throat like thinking like closing up? So I went outside. I went to the bus station, and I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta call a friend. So I called my friend. I'm like, yo, I don't know why this is happening to me. Like, talk me through it. And he's like, bro, you're having like a panic attack. I'm like, this is real? This is what it is?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is it, bro. Like, yeah, this is definitely what you're having. I'm like, oh, damn. And ever since that day, I took mental health more seriously. I'm like, you know what? Like,
Nah, yeah, it's
mental health is real.
Yeah, it's
real.
I found
Going there first was very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Because growing up as a kid, I guess I never really. Looking back now, my what was it? My symptom anxiety is whenever I couldn't eat. So sometimes I go out to like pho restaurants to like eat with people, friends, families, whatever, and like I just couldn't eat. Like if I took a bite, I would just throw up.
Bro, you don't eat anyways. So
and anyways, that happened to me a lot growing up. So now looking back, I'm like, that was probably like a form of anxiety. But ever since that exact day of like in COVID time, I'm like, yo, anxiety is like, this shit real.
For me, it was in university. Like one thing that I experienced was like in in high school and elementary school, you're seeing the same people in every single classroom. So like you feel comfortable raising your hand. In the university, like I usually am the person to raise your hand and answer questions.
Oh, you're a bold one.
Yeah, because like I like engaging with the conversation sometimes, like with class conversations, if it interests me. But like whenever I wanted to answer questions in like university, especially if it was like a medium to larger size class. Actually, not even even smaller classes. Actually, to be honest, even smaller classes were worse because they could see you. Big classes, it wasn't as bad because you could say something and they just hear your voice. Small classes, you have like maybe like all 15, 20 people that don't know you. And then like I would be scared. Like I would actually be scared to raise my hand. Like I would have the answer in my head or like a question in my head, and I'd be like just repeating it to myself in my head before I could
to make sure it came out right.
Yeah, before I could actually raise my hand. And then sometimes it comes to the point where like I'm like I don't even want to raise my hand. Like I'm just not gonna raise it anymore. I'll just let the question pass.
Going back on the topic of growing up in an Asian household, right? Do you think your parents' tough love, especially in an Asian household, made you a stronger person or made you a more insecure child?
Oh, that's hard. That's a hard question. Like, honestly, I feel like my parents weren't even like the epitome of like tough love for Asian households. Like obviously they had like expectations, but like they also gave me the resources.
What do you mean by resources?
Like,
well, they give
like
you.
they weren't like, these are the expectations. You're on your own. Do this, or like we're not gonna be proud of you. Is like, these are our expectations. If you need to do it, if you need this, if you need X, Y, Z, we can give it to you. So in a sense, actually, that was kind of worse, because they'd be like I'll just use this as an example for my brother, but like since education was a big thing for them, obviously, they sent my brother to a private school, thinking that like
that's money.
The private, that's the thing. They would use that to be like, we sent you to private school. We're paying like lots of money for this private school for you to do well in academics, and like if you're not doing well in academics, like what's the point? Like why are we spending so much money? So that was like the tough love. Like they would give us the resources, they would try and help us out, but like if the results aren't showing, like that's when they like come down on us.
Okay, but that didn't answer the question though.
Okay, what was the question again? Sorry, I was just trying to figure out what type of tough love my parents gave us.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the question was, do you think your parents' tough love made you a stronger person, like growing up now today, or it made you a more insecure person? Because I'll give an example, give an analogy.
Okay.
Like, because there's always two sides of the coin. Like, it's depending on how the kid growing up takes it, right?
Yeah.
Either they grow up very independent or they grow up totally relying on the parents.
Yeah.
Or it's like you grew up with, like, for example, let's just use me and my brother, for example. My parents' self-love made me a very independent person and made me like not want to rely on other people. So in a sense, it made me more stronger or capable of living on my own. And let's say, for example, my brother, this is not the case, but I'm just using it as an example. He could grow up with the same situation, same scenarios as me with my parents, but he can be growing up and totally doubt himself. Or like, oh, I need someone to be there for me. Or like always doubting himself, like, am I good enough? Or can I do this without help? Not believing in themselves in a sense. Because I see a lot of people growing up, not just Asian household in general, like not just Asian household, but in general too. It's like there's a lot of people who just like self-doubt and stuff and don't believe in themselves enough to even take the first step into what they want to do. It's like you have this idea, you know what you want to do, but you don't take action on it because you're scared of the end result. You're scared of what your parents might say. You're scared of failing in a sense, where it's like you don't even take the risk because like it's just like this what's the word? This fear of failure, this fear of not being enough, this fear of what if I don't do well? What if I don't live up to my parents' expectations?
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever got that. I think if anything, for me, it was fine. Like, I don't think it negatively impacted me, like the tough love.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, like, even if they like were hard on me, like, they still showed that, like, they showed me that, like, it's okay to like come back to them.
Mm.
And
That's
then,
very healthy.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, I'm lying because I did. I don't know. It's been so long. There's like, university versus like high school was so different because in high school I was hard on myself because I had coaches on me. I had my parents on me. Like grade 12 was like I was in junior level for figure skating, which is the second highest level you could go at. It's got competitive. And like it was just I felt like I had a lot of expectations. Same thing with school. It's grade 12. Like I felt like I had a lot of expectations for school as well. But then like figure skating was getting in the way of my social life at school, and school was getting in the way of like my my figure skating. So then like it was always conflicting. Like I even up to now, like I always feel like I had a conflicting like upbringing or childhood, and I feel like my parents' tough love in high school was harder on me than it was in university. Like in university, like they were hard on me, but at the same time, like I feel like they saw that I was shifting away from their expectations, and they sort of got to that like acceptance point where like, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. So now when I started Kubo, they would just ask me questions like, what am I gonna do to like blah blah blah, like what am I going to do to scale this business, stuff like that. And then their tough love in that, like letting me do that on my own, letting me fail on my own, was like healthy for me. Whereas in high school, like with all these expectations especially, made it hard to the point where like it was like pretty depressing for me.
Okay. So would you just say growing up you gained more like maturity on how you view and how you took in their tough love? You kind of like shifted it into a...
Yeah, I guess so. Like, and definitely in high school, like it did not affect me positively. And then whereas in like now, like if they were tough on me now, like I would appreciate it. Like they're actually, like back then I'd just be like, damn, like I was just hard on myself. Like I'm taking it as a bad thing. But now they're tough on me. They're telling me like say like
Yeah.
I'm doing the business wrong, and they just straight up say like, you like that's not how that you should not be doing that. Like I'd get mad at first probably, but then I'd like think to myself like, why are they saying that? And then realize that they're probably saying that because they see something from an outside perspective.
Yeah,
And that's
that
how
makes
I
sense.
always like. But like back then I was like you. I was never able to take criticism. So they told me like I'm doing something. If anyone told me that I was doing something bad, or if like incorrectly, or like something that was not good, I would just get mad and then be like, no, like I'm right. Whereas in now, if someone told me the same thing, like if I was wrong or incorrect or I did something bad, I'd probably have that same feeling at first, but I'd be like, there's probably a reason why they're saying that. And like, I gotta figure out what that is.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What was your parents' form of tough love on you?
I don't want to say the same thing as you, expectations.
Yeah.
But it's everyone's is expectations. But I think my parents' form of tough love was how independent can you be?
Like they throw you, I feel like for you, it's like they throw you in the deep end and then it's like you figure out on your own and then there's their expectations. And then if you don't meet that,
Yeah,
is that kind of...
in a sense, yeah, because it's like like I said, my mom would sign me up for things and put me on all these things, like sign me up, etc.
Yeah.
etc. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I do my best to finish the task, do the thing, complete the task, whatever. And then it's like, oh, that's not the result we were looking for. I'm like, okay, what did you expect? like I have no idea going into this, right? But I guess, yeah, if I were to sum it up, my form of tough love,
Or like your parents' form of tough love on you?
my parents' form of tough love on me was literally just can you survive on your own, in a sense.
Yeah. They just let you do you.
Okay. One thing I do really like though, they had so much freedom as a kid. It was crazy. So much freedom. Cause I'm outside, but who's telling me what to do?
Which is kind of...
I'm roaming the streets, going to Dollarama, walking around the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
When I'm 9 years old, holding a bag of chips, aimlessly walking around 24/7.
That's what was crazy to me, because I feel like usually in Chinese households, or like even in Asian households in general, mostly East Asian, like Japanese, Korean, Chinese, I feel like you don't get as much freedom. Like they're like parents are a lot more controlling, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in like for you, like since you like you're still Chinese, but like I feel like you were still raised in a very like you said, very free.
Oh, so free, bro.
Free environment, yeah.
I was so free,
which kind of shocked me as like culturally, because like it was not aligning to what I thought
the stereotypical
East Asian households were like.
Well, I think it would be a lot different if my mother was home a lot, because growing up from what I've heard from my mother, like because my grandma was a former teacher, and then my grandpa, he worked in the union, but I heard he was super strict. Like I think typical Asian father, like super, very strict. But my mom was like, they got older, so they got more lenient. Like, we're the grandchildren anyways. But since my mom wasn't home and my dad didn't really want to like interact because he was always tired, and I didn't really communicate well with my grandparents because I didn't even know how to speak Mandarin. And they were just doing their own thing. I had a lot of free time. Like, I could just do whatever I want. So I was always outside doing whatever. The only thing I had to make sure was I came home alive.
Yeah. Do your parents like
came home alive?
Come home before the lights came on the streets?
No, not even. I would just have to come home alive, and I wouldn't.
Not even at a certain time.
No, just come home alive and don't even bother them to like. Don't inconvenience me.
To like have to pick you up.
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah, I get that. See, my parents were the complete opposite of that. Like they tell you to come. Like my parents would say come home at a certain time, and they would also say like if you need the ride, I'm here.
Oh, that was no. I remember one time I was at a party, like I called my parents. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be staying out late. They're like, okay, do you need me to pick me up? I'm like, no, I'll find a way. Good. I'm like, oh, okay. And I just I came home myself.
Like I feel that parenting is very similar to my girlfriend. Like I feel like do you feel bad to call for a ride as well? Like, would you feel bad to call them for a ride, or is it more so just like?
Nah, it was like it was like the last resort. But if I called them, I knew they'd be like, my dad would be like, ugh, what? And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna just bus. Keep my sanity, keep my peace. I'm gonna just hug the 2-hour bus ride. And that's what I would do. Or ask my friend to drive me home, but...
Does that make you sad in a sense? I would feel like... Because I always relied on my parents to, like... Like, I feel like I was privileged in that sense where, like, I could, like, if I asked my parents to drive me to, like, a place, they would do it.
Did it make me sad?
Like, knowing that you can't ask your parents to, like, pick you up from somewhere, or drop you off somewhere, or not even, like, that you can't, but, like, if you do ask, it's just like, wow, you're really gonna inconvenience me from, like... That sentiment from your parents.
Like it wasn't sad because I knew like they obviously had to like they dropped me to school after skating every single day.
Yeah.
So
but like those are extracurriculars and like extracurriculars and like school though. But like I'm talking about like you doing like you going out for fun like like if you said like oh I'm going out with friends, can you pick me up at this time? Like would you feel bad that you had to ask that you have to get picked up? Or feel bad that if you do ask, you feel like you're inconveniencing them?
Yes to the second one, inconvenience. But they're like last resort. Say it's like 3 a.m. and the bus stopped running.
Yeah, but do you feel that that's sad that's your last resort?
No.
No?
Why is that sad?
I don't know, because I feel like as your parent, like as like a kid, like your parents would be your first resort. No?
I don't know. I knew I was capable of going home myself. So I was like...
Our first option.
Or like one way or another, I know how to get home.
Yeah.
So it's not like if one way doesn't work or if like I ask my parents, that's just like another way of getting home. But like if I... Even if they said no, I'm just like, I know that I have a place to stay somewhere. I know I'm capable enough to survive the night. In a sense, or find my way back home. Yeah. So not really, if that answers your question. But yeah. Because like I said, I grew up very... free-willed. Yeah.
So if you came home at 3 a.m. on the bus, they wouldn't question you?
If they came...
If you came at like home at like 3 a.m. via the bus, they wouldn't be like, are you okay? Like...
No, my mom would definitely check on me. Okay. Like, there would be times I come home very late, and my mom would be sleeping on the couch, and I would see her sleeping on the couch, and it was like, damn, she's waiting for me. Oh. Right? So there'd be like times like, you feel bad. I feel bad. I'll come home earlier. Yeah. But then again, it's everyone's first time living this life. It's everyone's first time.
That's how I
navigating a first child, right?
Yeah, exactly. First child, navigating as a parent. Yeah. Yeah, do you see that on social media one time? It's like it's your parents' first time as well. Yeah, I saw that actually like caught me off guard.
Yeah, ever since I saw I've learned I saw somewhere during COVID time where it's like, cut your parents some slack because this is their first time navigating their life too, and they don't know everything. And when I first heard that, I'm like, you're so damn right. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'll give him some grace. Yeah, I'll give him some grace.
And that's where I was like, damn, I really can't be like holding grudges against my parents anymore because I'm gonna have to go through that as well. I feel like you might ask me this already, but like, is this going to like would you raise your child the same way like your parents did or like similar?
This guy stole my question, but this guy literally read my question.
Yeah, I know, because I'm already going into it. Like,
yeah, I would definitely raise them very differently, differently.
Like, do you think you'll like? Do you?
But also be. No, I'm not gonna say this.
Do you ever fear you'll have the habit that you raise them
the same way?
The same way.
I think everyone has that fear, and everyone innately, subconsciously does in some way or another. Yeah. Because that's all you know, right? Yeah. Because you can only teach what you know. Yeah. Right. But definitely, I would definitely give my kid a lot of freedom and a lot of choice. I wouldn't be hard on them, but I'd be strict with them.
But a lot of freedom? You think a lot of freedom would be good?
Yes, but it also it very depends on how they take it too, right?
Do you think
because I could have went on the streets, sold drugs.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Party 24/7, messed around, and just like completely ruined my life. Yeah. But I didn't because there was also this set of like expectations or standards like I knew I had to meet. Etc.
Setting standards is like the key difference, right?
Yeah. Setting standards. I would show a lot of I can already see myself. I would be a very strict but loving parent. Very strict but loving parent. I can love you for like one moment, but when it comes to something like serious, I am so strict there is no love with that.
Do you think that might affect them like emotionally? Like the drastic change?
The drastic change?
Yeah.
That's a good question actually. good question.
Especially as a kid, like a 10-year-old and younger.
Definitely it will. Definitely it will. But it's how you navigate it, how drastic you go that will affect them negatively.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you obviously don't want to get to the point where I don't want to get to the point where it's like, oh, my dad just has, he just has like, he's just bipolar.
Do you think you could lead having that drastic change in like parenting could lead them to a false sense of security?
False insecurity?
Yeah. Where they're like, oh, my dad's happy with me, but then like they do one thing and then all of a sudden you just snap to a different person and getting like really mad. And it's like, wow, like this person's capable of doing this as well.
So what's your question?
So like do you think like being able to go from like a very loving person to like a very strict person like that, like might affect the way they view their security within your relationship?
I mean, yes, definitely yes. But I feel like I'm going to teach my kid how to love them to love themselves first before relying on me. Relying on your parents. I mean, you have to at one point, but you grow up to rely on yourself, then you're like, you can think for yourself. You're like, not invincible, but you have your own sense of mind where it's like, dad's mad. Okay.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, dad's mad. What the hell did I do? And you start getting like this anxiety, like, oh, should I please him? What should I do? Like, what did I did wrong? Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I feel like the immigrant parent sense of parenting is so hands off. Like I feel like in the Western world, like we see that parenting is so important for the child, whereas in like since we have immigrant parents, like obviously they know that it is important to parent your child, but like it was never their priority because their priority was
just surviving.
Yeah.
It's literally just surviving. Yeah.
Yeah. So then like now, well, honestly, at this point for us, it's also just surviving.
A lot of
everything
aspects.
right now going on. Yeah, it's literally just surviving as well. But like for immigrant parents, it was never like
Definitely tough. Definitely tough.
Even if we have no money, like at least I could parent properly, right?
Yeah. So I don't blame them for teaching or raising the way we were taught.
Yeah.
If you could pinpoint one thing in your life, one fear in your life that holds you back, what would that be?
Oh, bro. How are you gonna put that question on me and like expect me to answer that right away? That's hard. One fear that holds me back.
Yeah.
One fear.
Like, what are you deep down afraid of? Like, what keeps you up at night sometimes?
Like real shit?
Yeah.
Death?
Yeah, I'm just asking this for fun.
Like in terms of like something that actually scares me or something that scares me to be a better person.
Scares you to be a better person.
Honestly, I feel like this is also a common like thing, but like the fear of not doing enough.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel like I haven't done enough to like make a name for myself or done enough to become successful, and then that like since that like I'm afraid that I haven't done enough, it makes me feel like I don't want to do anything anymore. So then it's like.
Really?
It's like a cyclone, right? Like it's a cycle. Like
cyclone.
Sorry. It's like a cycle. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like a cycle because like it's
I'm gonna
like
leave that in there.
I'm scared of not doing something, and then I end up not doing anything still, anyways. And then it's like it reinforces the fact that like I was scared of not doing anything.
And you still didn't do it. Yeah. That
right?
definitely makes sense. For me, I would say it's the same thing of like not doing enough, but to get very, very specific, it's dying too quickly before I can even
have done anything.
Make an impact on the world.
Yeah.
Because I want to make an impact to the world. I don't want to retire my parents. The scariest thing to me is if my parents pass and I didn't even make it yet. I think that's very terrifying to me. I think that's why I always rush on time, because I know my parents' time is limited and it does take time to become successful. Mm-hmm. So
honestly, even like my parents' death in general, like that actually keeps me up at night. Like, I'm just like, I can't like imagine my parents dying, even though like I hate, like, I'm scared of death on myself, but as well as like more so for others.
I don't fear death in itself. I only fear death in the sense like, damn, I died too quickly, but before I even like made it,
Before you even, yeah.
before I even took off,
Yeah.
right? I don't like, honestly, I'm not scared of like dying. I used to be very scared of like dying because like the pain and like just like leaving everything. But I think it's more if I die too quickly and I didn't make an impact, or like people don't remember, yo, who was Vincent Hill, or I have one person at my
You
funeral.
want to create a legacy.
Yeah, in a sense, I want to make an impact before I die. I don't want to be another name on a tombstone. I want to be like
What
on,
if the
on the
legacy
history
was?
on the history Wikipedia.
What if it wasn't even that? What if it was just like you made a legacy for your family? Would that be enough for you?
No,
Really?
no.
So you like actually want to be impactful,
Yeah,
like worldwide?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Like for me, if I did something that was stellar, that like my family would just keep saying down to
Down
generations,
generation.
I would be fine with that. Like if
Interesting.
my grandchildren were telling their kids about like the stories they heard about me, that'd be enough for me.
Because I think
As long as I lived like a fulfilled life.
Because I think
as
you're
well.
are you more family oriented in a
Yeah,
sense?
I'm family oriented.
Yeah.
Like I
'Cause-
wouldn't mind a legacy as well, like making like having my name in the history books, or not even the history books, but like somewhere that's like written.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I also don't want to set myself up for that expectation, because if that never happens, then I'm just gonna be disappointed with myself.
Uh-huh.
So
But
like if I'm happy with like my family just remembering me for like something great that I did, and like that I was able to
do something.
provide generational wealth, even if it's not like a lot of generational wealth,
Mhm.
something to help
Progress.
down the generations, like that would be enough for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I only said that because I'm like, I know you're more family oriented, so that's why you think more family. With me, obviously family is important. And growing older, I would definitely see family more and more prominent or important in my life growing up. But no, it's always been like, I want to help people. I want to make impact like worldwide, because my family is one family, right? But there's other people who are struggling way worse. There's other people who are in poverty. There's other people who don't have money. There's other people who don't have access to listen and watch this, right? So it's like, even though I want to help my family, there's so much people who are just way worse than me, and I'm like, damn. And I'm out here complaining. And
Yeah.
I'm like, someone in Bangladesh has it way worse,
Yeah.
right? I don't know why I said Bangladesh, but yeah.
That's why I also feel bad for like when I see people begging money on the streets and like they're coming up to your car. I'm like, damn, I ain't even got $5 on me either.
Brother, I'm struggling with you.
But then I would still, yeah, literally. But then I'm like, all right, here you go. Yeah, I'll give it anyways.
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the day, I like at least I have a bed to come home to. Like I still could eat out if I wanted to.
Yeah. If you can go back in time and speak to your younger self, what advice would you give your younger self that would change the way you would have lived your life today?
Oh, that's hard. The one thing that I would say to myself as a kid, or like to my younger self, is create standards and create good habits. Because I think creating habits is like it defines the small things within life that amounts to your overall well-being in life.
Okay. That's good.
How about you?
Definitely, if there was one thing, it would just definitely be have more confidence in yourself and believe in yourself more. I think I found that out too late in life, where it's like I feel like I'm very behind. That's why I'm trying to play catch up right now. But it's definitely, this is an ongoing thing, was like definitely believe in yourself. Because being too afraid to, like for example, high school years, being too afraid to speak my mind, being afraid to, like how other people perceive me, being afraid of like being who I want to be, having that confidence to actually step into who I want to be, what I want to start. I definitely would it would be different.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. This is just
You
believing in
think
yourself.
that would set you up earlier in life? Like,
Oh, 100%. I would take more risks. I would be very more like outgoing. Like cares about other people's opinions, like that's not holding me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if you got that point of in yourself, like got that confidence earlier in your life, you'd be more successful right now?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final question. You ready?
Yeah. What's it?
What is your definition of success?
Honestly, it's just living a happy life. Like whether like I don't need to be like rich to be successful. Like if I'm able to find a good work-life balance, like that is successful to me. If I'm able to like still work but then also take a day to just enjoy myself, I would find that as a success while still also being comfortable with my finances, being able to continue the hobbies that I do. Like if I'm living a comfortable life, like pretty comfortable life, that would be enough success for me.
But what's a comfortable life to you then?
Like having a nice home, like being able to have a nice home, comfy home. Like it doesn't even need to be a massive home. Being able to like I just don't want to feel trapped within my work.
Okay.
And then if I could find that and like be able to balance that with life, like I would consider that success for me. And then not even just like balance off work, but like find a work that I actually enjoy. That would be good enough for me.
You gotta learn how to make things fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, like
that's what I've been trying to learn.
Yeah.
Like whatever you learn how to make, you gotta learn how to make things fun so you can stick with it throughout.
Yeah.
Because you could love doing something until the point you're like, yo, I hate this stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like a job now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just find the enjoyment in the small things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my definition of success. What's yours?
I would say my definition of success is, okay, I live by this quote and I say it through every single podcast. But I'll keep saying it until the day I die. But it's living a life regretting taking more action than inaction.
Regretting. Oh, so
I'd rather regret taking action than inaction.
You'd rather regret doing something than not doing.
So even although it's nice to be financially stable, although it's nice to have a beautiful family, be comfortable and everything, like I still want that. Like that still is part of my success in a sense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even if I have dirt nothing, if I can read the book of Vincent Hill of my life to myself and to my grandchildren and be proud of what I'm reading to them, I think that's success.
So like if you
living a fulfilling life, knowing I did everything I could and not being afraid to
just not being afraid to do something. Do anything.
Do anything that I set my mind to in a sense. Even if it's failure, even if it's successful and booms, like at the end of the day, I'd rather read my book and be like, damn, you know what? He tried at least. That was a good one. All right. Other than that, is there any final questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs you want to give before I end this off?
No, not really. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's over there. She's been listening to this.
I'll definitely keep in some parts. I would just edit a text of what she said. Here and there, yeah. You'll definitely be part of it.
Yeah, she actually asked a lot of good questions.
Yeah, you'll definitely be part of it.
She kept the conversation going. Maybe she should have been like sitting like right here in front of us.
I should have mic'd you up too.
Yeah, you should have mic'd. Yeah, we should have the big. We should have had the big couch here.
This is like daily conversations I have with my sister.
Oh yeah. That's good.
They're very. Huh? Yeah, what?
Other than that, nothing. We should both go with therapy.
Therapy doesn't work.
Okay, you want to wrap it up? Do you go to therapy? Do you go to therapy? Oh. Well, this is our therapy.
We have mindset journaling. It's our therapy.
Yeah.
Our therapy is blending mangoes and then putting it through a sieve and contemplating our life.
Hand smashing it, hand scooping.
And then just contemplating where we are in life.
Okay.
Anyways, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Mike's in the way.
Yeah, sorry. I'll come all the way. There you go. Other than that, anything else you want to say before I close it off?
Thanks for watching.
To those who have tuned in and stayed to the very end, we appreciate you for listening today, and we hope that you learned something new. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until then, my friends, take care.
Thanks for watching.